Hi everyone, and welcome inside Mountain America Stadium for the Sun Devil Source 2-minute drill. I'm Gabby Chernoff, he's Chris Cartman. We're here following Kenny Dillingham's weekly Monday presser and ASU's 35-31 victory over Kansas on Saturday. Now, something that did stick out in that game was kind of the refereeing, the officiating. There were some questionable calls. Kenny Dillingham did talk about that on Saturday, but the two big ones, targeting against Clayton Smith and Keyshawn Elliott, which means they'll be out for the first half against Utah. So just kind of talking about some of what those implications are without them, and those officiating calls that maybe were questionable.
Yeah, both of those targeting upheld by the Big 12. So those guys are not going to be able to play in the first half against Utah. That's big. Those are the two of ASU's best overall players. Elliott's absence means that Zyrus Fiaseu will wear the green dot that communicate with the sideline or the defense. And there's been a drop-off at that middle linebacker position when Elliott's not been out there against Utah. A very heavy run team. It's going to be a physical thing. And then Clayton Smith, probably their best pass rusher. So that is probably going to need Prince Dorba to kind of step up, as he is several weeks now returned from the knee injury that he suffered at Camp Tonazona.
Yeah, and that linebacker group a little bit thin, but the wide receiver room is very, very deep. We talked to Kenny Dillingham about Malik McLean specifically. They said they're planning on redshirting him. So what does that mean for Malik McLean and just the overall depth of that receiver room?
Well, he arrived in May, so he didn't get to go through spring ball, the installs, look good in camp. But then once they got into some of the game planning, the intricacies of their offensive scheme, I think he struggled with a little bit. Dillingham alluded to that. He said that not quite as far along from a preparation standpoint. ASU's been very reliant on its starting three wide receivers, and so that's going to be something that has to be watched moving forward, because Jake Smith and Troy O'Meara haven't really necessarily played as much as what I think that they probably hoped would be the case, or McLean. So there's been a big drop-off. They're going to need those two guys to step up on the perimeter.
And then looking ahead to this Utah game, Kenny Dillingham said last year that Utah was the gold standard of Pac-12 football when they went to Utah last year. 55-3 loss, the worst loss ASU has suffered since World War II. But he says they're headed in the right direction they've definitely improved this season, but they're headed in the right direction to kind of hit that gold standard. So what are your thoughts on just the improvement and kind of hitting that standard?
Yeah, the culture, the physicality, the consistency are all great for Utah. And ASU's made strides, but is not anywhere where it needs to be from a comparison standpoint, although this is a litmus test when you're able to measure it head-to-head. They got destroyed last year with a very injured team going up there to Salt Lake City. I think they'll do a lot better in this game. We'll see about Cam Rising's status. That's to be determined, but they need to be physical, and they need to play really hard and fast, particularly on the defensive side, to match that Utah aggression and intensity. And we're going to get a good sense of where they're at in a much tougher environment here for the Utes at Mountain America Stadium.
Yeah, this game on Friday will definitely be a good measuring stick to kind of see where ASU is at, but we'll have you covered all week long as they prepare to take on the number 16 Utah Utes. So until next time, Gabby Chernoff and Chris Cartman for Sun Devil Source.